Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I have a question from one of my viewers. I'd like to read it first and then talk about it. How to avoid negative karma when forgiving others and loving them unconditionally without allowing them to abuse me for being kind. Thank you for being here and for your question. It's really an intelligent question. But first I'd like to explain a couple of terms in order for me to be clear and not conceptual, to be more specific. When I talk about karma now, from my point of view, karma is cause and effect. It is reality that I'm living in as a result of my actions. And everyone acts in a certain way, and the outcome is the reality where one lives. So it is not something conceptual, it's not something spiritual, something vague. No. It is cause and effect. If you're living in a reality that you like, it means that there's actions that are in line with that effect, with this reality. You gossip, you conspire, you bully, you enable abuse, all those things. It means that you will live in that reality as well. In the beginning it might be nice, you might get some thrill out of it, but within time you will live in that reality that is in line with those actions. Now, when we talk about unconditional love, I know that many people might mistake it for sacrificing oneself, or like, I love you unconditionally, or like thinking that it's allowing others to walk all over you. This is not what I mean by unconditional love. First of all, one needs to love himself or herself. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others. And I'm talking about love of oneself, not love of one's image, because many people live in the illusion, or they are in love with an image or of an illusion, or in a projection of who they are. And we talked in the past about Narcissus, about the Greek myth, what it means to be in love with your own image, but not of who you are. So, unconditional love, when you are full of love of yourself, not of your image, of yourself, then you can allow others to live however they want, and yet you will love them. You have no need to control them. You have no need to tell them how they should live their lives. You don't condition your love with their choices. However, it doesn't mean that you allow them to walk all over you. Because you also love yourself, and you set boundaries for others and for yourself. So, unconditional love, it is the very meaning of not allowing others to abuse you. Of course, on the other hand, you will also not want to control them or to abuse them, because you are conscious of the cause and effect. And also because it's not worth it. Your freedom is more important than controlling others. Think about this. In prison, those who stand behind bars, in front of bars, both of them are in prison. It's not a privilege to be there. Both are prisoners. All we want is just to be free, and unconditional love is part of that. Those who don't love themselves, normally they have those tendencies to want to control others, to tell others what they should do with their lives, how to run their lives, and they might get insulted and might get hurt if others don't do what they want. So, in order to reach that level of unconditional love that we're talking about, one needs to be on a high level of emotional wealth and of spiritual wealth. But first, let's talk about emotional wealth, because most people are not there yet. In order for someone to have that level of emotional wealth, you also need to have that level of emotional intelligence, because without intelligence, you cannot protect your wealth and you cannot grow it. You know that from financial wealth. Someone who's not financially intelligent, one would lose all his money, even if they have inherited it. Sorry, if they inherit it, and if someone doesn't have wealth, but is financially intelligent, he can build it, he can grow it. Same thing with emotional intelligence. The ability to be emotionally intelligent will grow our emotional wealth. Our emotional wealth will give us the ability to live sovereign, empathic, sensitive, passionate, loving. Our emotional compass would be accurate, telling us where to go, So, and this will also be the base for spiritual wealth, but this is a subject for another time. Now, after we have that level of emotional wealth, then we'll be able to exercise or to experience what it means to love unconditionally. Someone who's emotionally poor doesn't understand what it means to love unconditionally. On the contrary, they need to control others. Because what they're looking for is not inside them, it's somewhere else. That's why they're looking for scapegoats. After reaching that level of emotional wealth, of course, you will be surrounded suddenly by many people who would like to take advantage of it. So you will not be left alone. And of course, when society is very proud, jealous, full of itself, they will never acknowledge your emotional superiority. So what they try to do is to conspire against you, to connect in order to make you look bad, in order to find or to frame a consensus where they confirm for each other their illusion, because they think that if the group confirms, it means that it's a fact, that it's right. So normally they try to put you, to shade light on you, or to put you in a negative shape. And here's the thing. Whatever they do, all conspirations and lies, etc., all those toxic people, well, everything that they do is to target your emotional wealth, because without you, there's no meaning for their lives. So they talk about you, they are looking for you. So you might see them suddenly pretending to be friends, good friends, that want to make a party, and suddenly they want to invite you to that party, not because they want to invite you to the party, because they subconsciously want to agree with each other. When you come to that party, how can they make fun of you in order to lower your value? And suddenly all of them will feel good. So, just to be cautious of such events and such group dynamics where it shapes itself in order to scapegoat the emotionally wealthy. That's why we need emotional intelligence in order not to fall in those traps. And even if you don't come to that party and you stay out, you are the main reason why this party happened. They will keep talking about you. You are the only purpose. And even if they talk about something else, suddenly, just in order to show themselves and others around that they don't really care about you and they don't talk about you, but no, you are the main thing in that party. They all gathered because of you, of the emotionally wealthy, because they are emotionally poor. They keep talking about you, because you didn't come. And all this party has no meaning without that emotionally wealthy. I'm saying that in order to know your power. It is important to know your power. When you don't attend, when you keep your distance, when you leave them behind, this is the biggest punishment. This is the worst reality that they can live in, because they have nothing else to want. There's nothing else to experience. There's no emotional wealth that they can heal them, that they can inspire them. You are the only source, and you're not there. And you distancing yourself is the biggest punishment that those people can have. So, forgiving them, it is not a matter of, it is, the idea of forgiveness is not relevant here anymore, because you're emotionally wealthy, you're busy with your life, you're busy with your passion, you're busy with you're filled with self-love. You're not thinking about them, forgiving them or not forgiving them. You're just somewhere else. They are stuck behind. They are the ones who are talking about forgiveness. They love to talk about forgiveness and about reminding them, you are somewhere else. They don't know it, because the settings are different kind of mindset. Anyway, so unconditional love, it is your salvation for those who are emotionally wealthy. I'm not talking here for people who are emotionally poor. They cannot experience unconditional love, whether they talk about it conceptually or intellectually. This is a whole different field. Emotional wealth and emotional growth has a whole different path. And it's complex. Anyway, so my message is those, the emotionally wealthy, just enjoy your journey. Grow your wealth, practice your passion, live your lives, and move on. By distancing yourself from them, you can forgive them or not forgive them. This is not relevant anymore. Just living your life is your salvation, your growth. And that's their bad karma. This is the effect that they caused, and they live in it. The unconditionally loving understand that it's not my responsibility to save them. There's no guilt and shame and all those things by leaving toxic people. And it doesn't make a difference who they are. I hope my message reaches out. Thank you everyone for staying with me. Thank you for the question. I'm Shredy Jabarin. Ciao.